Here's the workday. Wanted to talk about a couple of things, but I just don't have time to sit at home and make all these videos, so I'm taking the camera to work and combining things a little bit here. Not ripping off an employer with slow progress here, because it's on a piecework basis anyway. And but anyway, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Charles Dyer's situation. Okay, as everybody knows, Mr. Dyer got convicted in kind of a weird, fucked up type of courtroom situation. What I'm told, most of the trial took place in chambers. There had been 2 previous mistrials. The prosecution knew this was going to be real close to their last crack at him. And if he were to beat this one, they'd have to let him go. Now, I think it was some point in 2009. He's really not been free since some point in 2009. He's been under indictment for one set of charges or another since 2009. I got involved when I saw some information posted on a forum on the federal weapons case. There was some information that I saw apparently something to do with M203 that somebody was saying was an airsoft version. Some people were saying it was not. Apparently evidence got dickered around with a little bit. I helped them come up with an expert witness. Before he could show up and testify, the case went to jury because this guy was a high credibility individual. Would be able to pick up that thing and be able to do a mental test, tell whether it was real or not. So anyway, our guy never did get to the courtroom. And it looked like kind of the lawyers had made their own deal in the back room on that situation. With this situation, that Janet Dyer apparently had a lot of faith in the lawyer. I saw some things that caused me to not have faith in a lawyer. People on the defense team, it was kind of a team effort. I was outvoted on that, and then I saw a whole bunch of infighting start happening. People accusing each other, and I didn't want to get in the middle of that shit. So I kind of bowed out for a while. Did a little research, did a little debate with some dickheads that was trolling some forums. That was about it. I did make the recommendation that somebody spin off, create a separate effort that is not included through the regular defense on getting a better set of private investigation situations put together. The best one that I came up with, which has been recommended to me in another case with some other people, was that outfit from the U.S. Observer down there in Southern Oregon. I don't know any of those people personally. However, I've heard a lot of good things about them. And their standard fee, I believe, was $6,000. When it was discussed with them by another person, not me, on the Charles Dyer situation, they felt that their expenses were going to be higher, that their travel expenses and stuff was going to be higher. So they had a expense situation put on the case. They said it was going to be about 10 grand. Now, a lot of people balk at that, but Machiavelli would tell you that there are times you just got to call in the outside professionals. And I looked at that, and among the dedicated volunteers and the self-proclaimed dedicated volunteers in the case, I felt outside professional was going to be a necessary thing. And apparently, the lawyer didn't agree. Well, Dyer's mother didn't agree entirely. So I said, well, this needs to be a separate thing. We're going to leave the whole saving the family farm thing on a different thing. There was some argument over who was getting the money and how that was getting spent. I didn't want anything to go in the middle of that. So I said, well, listen, somebody's got to do a separate situation. And I learned about this Debbie Swan lady just by watching her videos. I think maybe I talked to her once very briefly. Don't talk to her much. I just, you know, at some point in the next week or so, I'm going to try giving her a call. But I did talk to the Nancy lady on several occasions, and I just don't think she's an enemy agent, okay? But whatever was going on in Oklahoma throughout the case of this thing, it seemed to me like it was a little bit fucked up, and I wanted the fundraising and everything to do with the U.S. Observer people to be different groups of people. And I made that recommendation. I wasn't quite sure how seriously it was being taken, but somebody somewhere decided to finally move forward with it. And I was invited to explain a bunch of the situation on a Mark Hornsey radio show here a few days ago. I went out, I did. Apparently some people were paying attention and got some donors. Thanks to those people. Prior to that, the ongoing effort had not been particularly successful. And but now it seems like we're moving forward. We got that private investigation situation moving forward here. So what's happening though is that infighting's gotten kind of nasty. I don't know all of what this situation has been between Amelia Foxwell and Darren, whoever he is, and Rick Light and all these people that were there in person in Oklahoma. I do know that the situation in general was what I would call a clusterfuck. And it was another reason why I wanted the investigation situation. And anything that I was going to directly or indirectly raise money for would have to be a separate issue. I did donate some money to the defense fund. I understand some of that money goes to Charles Dyer for his commissary fund. And that's still kind of important, okay? When a guy's locked up like that, it's important for him not to be an abandoned person. Extremely important, because also the predatory people on the inside there, when they sense that somebody's been abandoned by their own people on the outside, they're going to home in on that, okay? They're going to home in on that, and they're going to victimize the person even more. They're going to victimize them even more. They're going to do them worse. It's never going to be a good thing, all right? And let's see here. I got to label some of these things as I'm working here, so bear with me. See what's going on here. So anyway, I got to tell everybody on this thing. Nancy, Debbie, Rick Light, all these people need to back off each other. And if you've been assigned something to handle on this case, just handle it, okay? I'm going to need some people just to back off. Now, if you know some things about the James Nix situation, a lot of us debated him in the forums and discussed a few things. You probably will be contacted by somebody from that U.S. Observer. Verify who you're dealing with, and then tell them what you know, okay? This case is entirely salvageable on the appeal process. We can win this. Even if we get the third trial, even if they retry it, there's a way they can choose to retry it. We just retry it with the new evidence. It's winnable, okay? The situation, though, it's looking grim, but it's not a total loss right now. On the other hand, this is getting real close to put up or shut up time. Alright? This is getting real fucking close to put up or shut up time. You can't let people just get picked up and thrown away on false charges indefinitely and have any street credibility in this world. Alright, now I'm not going to go into detail on you know, what the proper responses are for that type of thing. Right now I'm going to focus on legal stuff. But, you know, when it reaches a point when your people are being picked up off the street and just thrown away and tortured and defamed and all that, you know what to do.